Come to me!
Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome back to another super episode of Versus Gaming, a gaming show where we talk about the latest news in the world of gaming, plus give you some insight into what it all could mean. As always, I'm your host, Jean-Luque Zephir, and joining me today, we have returning guest host, Myleah Lofland. Welcome back to the show, Myleah.
Nice to be back. 2018 was a huge year for the gaming world, and 2019 looks like it's shaping up to be even better. However, we can't end such a fantastic year without talking about the Game Awards and some of the winners from that event.
And the Game Award for Game of the Year goes to God of War.
Just being nominated for an award is a huge deal, so congratulations to all of the nominees. It's not easy making a game worthy of recognition.
Well said, Myleah. Now let's jump right into this. Did you have any expectations going into the Game Awards? Let's not spoil it for our audience, but what were your raw thoughts of the event?
This year was pretty huge for gaming. You know, we had God of War and Red Dead Redemption 2, so I was like, okay, those are some pretty big contenders. We also had Celeste, who I heard a lot about the game. I haven't had a chance to play it, but in the indie game community, there was a lot of buzz about it, especially because it was nominated. So I was just kind of like, I'm not sure who's going to win yet, but I'm sure it's going to be huge, whoever it is.
Yeah, it was tough. We also had a lot of, narrative stories come out this year, just like you mentioned, God of War, Red Dead, even Marvel's Spider-Man, which I thought was a shoo-in to win something.
Yeah, I think that there was a lot of heavy competition between this year's nominees. So I wasn't really sure who was gonna win. It wasn't like I was like, oh, that one's definitely gonna win. All of them, I think, had their own unique aspect that could have helped them to win Game of the Year.
Starting off our lineup of Game Awards recipients, this first title requires no introduction. Santa Monica Studios' God of War received not only the award for Best Game Direction, but Best Action Adventure Game and Game of the Year as well. The roster's games that God of War beat were Red Dead Redemption 2, Marvel's Spider-Man, Celeste, A Way Out, Detroit Become Human, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Why? Because it's just that good. Wait a minute, not even good, legendary. Kratos' return to Spartan glory on the PS4 took 2018 by storm. The unrivaled gameplay, story, action-filled experience that you'll have when playing this game is just insane.
Who is this little pipsqueak? And why could he punch me very far? Who are you, really?
Incredibly disappointing. Come on, then.
Saving it as the best for last just doesn't apply here. It's literally the best game of 2018, so it goes first.
Oh, yeah, we're using the tree. Yeah.
Myleah, what do you think makes a game qualified to win Game of the Year?
So the Game Awards say that the Game of the Year award is for recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. Now, that's kind of vague, so I break it down into three basics. So first, you've got to have a good, powerful story. I think that's pretty obvious, but if your story can't hold up, then it's not going to win Game of the Year. I mean, you've played God of War. You would say it has a pretty good story without, spoiling anything.
Absolutely.
And then I would also say you have to have amazing gameplay.
In particular. This guy.
Maybe whoever it is you got snatched in that house with
talk to my son, so yeah, we're not doing that today. Oh, big tree. Oh, yeah. None of your business. Stop asking about who's inside. I'm not gonna tell you.
It can't be too difficult, but it also can't be too easy. And you want it to be user-friendly. Would you say that God of War has that?
Yeah, absolutely. Not only the user-friendly nature of it, but it's the depth. The game, it has a really deep gameplay experience. You also have, just like you mentioned, it's supplemented by the powerful story.
We're taking our ashes to the highest peak in the realms.
Ashes?
It was our last wish.
Where must we go?
To a realm beyond your own.
And a lot of times we look at Game of the Year, one thing makes it really, really stand out while other things back it up. Kind of like when you're checking off the boxes. Here, it was God of War. Last year with Breath of the Wild, it was the story. And I'm pretty sure you would agree with me on that.
I definitely agree with that. I mean, last year's Breath of the Wild had open world, which was really unique. What would you say about God of War makes it unique?
Well, it's a new take on the God of War franchise with its story.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one person who can get you where you need to go. They call me Myleah, smartest man alive. First, you need to cut off my head.
Wait, what?
That axe you got. You gotta handle her special.
I know you're a god. Not of this realm, but there's no mistaking it. He doesn't know, does he? About your true nature? Or his own?
The longer you wait, the more damage you do. He will resent you, and you may lose him forever.
Typically, what do we think of when we think of action-adventure games? Normally you're probably saving the world from something. But this time around with God of War, it really wasn't that. The whole point of God of War's story was Atreus' mom just died. That's Kratos' son. And they're bringing his mom's ashes to the top of the highest peak in the Norse mythology.
And I think that's unique because it's not just, we're saving the world from a big bad, which is the third thing I was saying, which is impact. If, 20 years from now, we're not saying, wow, that was an amazing game, wow, remember how different that was, then I don't think you can win Game of the Year, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right, so next up is Rockstar's juggernaut of a game, Red Dead Redemption 2. This game was awarded Best Narrative and Best Score in Music. For Best Narrative, RDR2 was up against some tough competition. Detroit Become Human, God of War, Life is Strange 2, and Spider-Man were all in the running. Now, music is something that makes or breaks a game. The score can set the atmosphere and tone and create impactful scenes that leave us breathless. What would The Legend of Zelda's unforgettable Master Sword scene be without its awesome theme? For this year, Red Dead Redemption 2 beat out Octopath Traveler, Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom, Marvel's Spider-Man, Celeste, and God of War. Whenever Rockstar gets ready to release a game, the entire gaming community is like, brace for impact. You know it's going to be huge. Red Dead Redemption 2 couldn't beat out God of War for Game of the Year, but that's not to say it isn't impressive. The cinematic open world, Western-style gameplay, immersive story with fun characters makes this game one that you don't want to miss. So, Jean-Luque, what do you think made Red Dead Redemption 2 stand out from the other nominees?
Oh my goodness, one thing I have to say when it's any kind of Rockstar game that gets ready to be released, because you see it coming, just get out of the way. Just get out of the way. It's so you mentioned, it's a huge game, giant open world. The side missions are incredible. What makes Red Dead Redemption 2 stand out more from any other open world to date is the graphics are huge and the world is huge. The gameplay, everything about it is humongous. It's
bigger
colossal.
is better.
Exactly. Literally, bigger is better. That's literally what it is. And not a lot of people understand what that means when I say that. Literally, they give you 2 discs to install the game. One is a data disc.
It's a huge game, isn't it?
Yeah, one is a data disc, one's a game disc, and you have to install them both, and it takes so long until you actually get that experience. But once you're in there, you're in there.
Yeah, and that music really immerses you in the game. I had a chance to listen to the soundtrack, and it just really puts you in that world and makes you feel like you're there while you're playing the game. And I think that's really why it won Best Music.
Oh, absolutely, Best Score, exactly, One of the things about the music is there are times when, if you're watching a movie and it doesn't have the music, It's
you're
kind of
not going to
bland.
get excited about the scene if the music's
Exactly.
not good. So
Yeah.
I think they do a great job with that.
No, absolutely. Fortnite is another game that also won more than one award. After battling against Sea of Thieves, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Destiny 2 Forsaken, Overwatch, No Man's Sky, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, the game earned the award for Best Multiplayer Game and Best Ongoing Game. Now, I've been trying to wrap my head around what makes Fortnite so popular. Is it the gameplay, stylish skins, emotes, or its Battle Royale mode that hooks people? And I came to the conclusion that it's the whole package. Fortnite is a fun game, and that is why it has such a large, enthusiastic player base. The question is, does that make it deserving of these awards? Yes. Myleah, what is your view on Fortnite?
Okay, so my honest opinion on Fortnite is I'm really bad at it. So I can't really say, whether or not it's for everyone, but I've seen a lot of kids really get into Fortnite. And I think it's very user-friendly, it's easy to get into. I mean, the game is free, and it's also available on mobile app, Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, PC. It's really easy to get into, so I think that's one part of the reason why everyone likes Fortnite so much. You also have those fun emotes, like you mentioned, and I think it just has a really addicting gameplay quality. It's something you can play with your friends, something that's just...
Yeah, exactly, and fun, that's why we play games.
Right.
You have a hard day, you go home, you pop in a game, and you're there to have fun. And that's what Fortnite really does so well. And it's those little aspects, sometimes it's the little things that matter, it's the little things that count. When you think of Fortnite, what's the first thing you think about? Oh my God, the dancing. The dancing
Absolutely.
emotes, and you're there with your friends, you're ready to go on a battle royale or a team match. And after you kill someone, you just start dancing or doing whatever
unique.
it is.
Yeah.
It's almost one of the things that we talk about culture a lot, and certain games, they create a culture. Overwatch, with its heroes, created a culture. Fortnite created its own dancing culture everywhere. Everyone's dancing now. Mm-hmm. So apart from that, even though I mentioned little things matter, it had enough there to stand out and to catch the attention of the masses. So it's huge, and I mean, Overwatch won that last year too.
Yeah, I would definitely say it has a cult-like following.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
On a more competitive note, esports is the center for competitive gaming. Individual players and teams compete across the world to be number one. So much so, the Game Awards dedicated an entire segment to recognize these accomplished champions. In order to be nominated for this award, a video game must have these essential components. It's got to have multiplayer, a colossal player base, a godly amount of replay value, and the continued support of the company behind the game who continue to give players new content to preserve the game's longevity. Blizzard's Overwatch has it all. So, that award goes to Overwatch. The arena shooter is still popular to this day among its devoted fan base, and even has its own competitive scene called Overwatch League, where you can get behind your own international team just like in sports. Overwatch has grown so much over the years, and winning the award for Best Esports Game gives testament to that fact. So you're a huge Overwatch fan, so why do you think it continues to do so well?
Well, I mean, I can point to just one thing, and that's the heroes. It has the most diverse roster of heroes that we've seen in a shooter game. Obviously, we can look to other games, we've seen diverse rosters before, but the characters in Overwatch, really, there are characters that you can relate to, and each of their different personalities is unique along with their abilities. So that's huge.
They all have different skill sets, they all have their own unique alts. I think that really draws people in, is just the diversity of heroes.
And the flair, that team-based combat, but also you can get good with the character. Everyone loves where, hey, I can main that character.
Genji's my main, Tifa's my main, yeah.
Exactly, so that's a really amazing aspect of the game. And going back, one of the things about it, I kind of mentioned with Fortnite, Overwatch has its own culture, community. Just the lore itself, the characters have inspired people, to do artwork, some of the dances, cosplaying. It has such a large following behind it, and the company not only continues to support it with, content aside from loot box and the skins and characters, but even the cinematics, the movies they get.
Yeah, I would say that that's what keeps Overwatch's hype up. Is like every few months they keep releasing new content, and every time new content is released, everyone's like, I want to play Overwatch. Got to play Overwatch again just for this new character, or my fave just got their own cinematic. So I think that really keeps up the hype over time.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Before we wrap up here, we have some other games that won awards that we just couldn't overlook. Let's check them out. So the team that won the award for Best Esports Team is Cloud9 for their outstanding performance in 2018 and also their inclusive multi-team organization. Now, obviously, it's really, really hard to win the League of Legends tournament, so it's a really, really big deal.
Yeah, League of Legends is incredibly competitive, so being able to win this is huge.
Yeah, and not only that, the person who won the award for Best Esports Player was Dominique McLean, also known as Sonic Fox. Now, we've heard a lot about Sonic Fox. He's won back-to-back Mortal Kombat X tournaments. He's won the EVO for Dragon Ball FighterZ. He's just all over the place winning tournaments everywhere.
Sonic Fox is huge, and he's been a huge figure in the gaming community, and whether you love him or you hate him, you can't deny that the guy is good.
Yeah, exactly, and he definitely deserves to win this award for his performance. Now, moving on to the games. The game that won for Best Independent Game was Celeste for its outstanding creative and technical achievement in a game mode outside the traditional publisher system. So it's a game that you might not have heard of, outside of, AAA games and more mainstream titles. What is your views on Celeste, Myleah?
So I had the chance to watch a little bit of a playthrough of Celeste, and it's a really simple, platformer game, but what really draws people into Celeste is the story behind it. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's really about climbing this mountain, and it's not just a mountain, it's a metaphorical mountain, and getting over things in your life, and it's something that people can really relate to, which is why Celeste was able to take the Best Indie Game title home.
Yeah, and it had a lot of competition as well, going through Dead Cells and also under other independent games. And it managed to come out on top, so definitely credit goes to Matt Makes Games, the developers of Celeste. So moving onward for Best Action Game. Now, the winner is Dead Cells. For Best Action Game, it's focused more on action, the action genre, and more on the combat. Now, I hadn't originally heard of Dead Cells, but when it won the award, I was, I really thinking, you have Call of Duty Black Ops, you have Destiny, you have all these heavy hitter AAA titles, but an independent game managed to win.
So Dead Cells is definitely considered the underdog in this situation, and to come out on top So Dead Cells is definitely considered the underdog in this situation. To come out on top of all of these AAA games is actually really huge. So in Dead Cells, every life you have is spent gathering resources, and when you die, everything is randomized, but you get to keep certain resources, and in order to move forward, you have to keep some and manage it. It's really interesting because it's very 2D, but nothing about Dead Cells feels 2D. Each of the movements feels really fluid, and it's really unique, I would say, in terms of game design.
Yeah, and obviously it's action, the combat, and looking at it, it takes me back to when I was playing, more 2D Sega games, that kind of thing, but it has a really strong modern feel to it. So, credit to Dead Cells. I'm happy that an independent game won, outside of the normal run-of-the-mill games you'd expect to make it into that running.
Yeah, I love its theme, death is not the end, death is the beginning. It's definitely cool, it's definitely a cool game, and I definitely want to pick it up.
Absolutely. Now, moving on to the best role-playing game. This is the best game designed with rich player character customizations and progression. And also it contains a huge multiplayer experience. The award goes to Monster Hunter World. Now, originally I've heard of Monster Hunter, on the 3DS. I've heard of Monster Hunter throughout the years, but it was never a game that I felt that I wanted to play.
Monster Hunter really struggled, I think, in the beginning in the West. It was hugely popular over in Japan, but once it came here for Monster Hunter World, it had like a cult-like response to it.
Yeah, exactly. I had some friends pick up the game, and they're like, Joel, you gotta get Monster Hunter, we gotta go on raids, we have to hunt these monsters. And the experience that I got from it, I was like, okay, now I see what you're talking about. And it really, really surprised me because some people like those, more grinding games that you have to work for. A more challenging RPG. It was definitely more challenging than Final Fantasy 15, I'll tell you that much. So, skins, you can hunt different monsters. And it's an overall game that, you can devote your spare time to.
Yeah, you just want to build up your armor, keep moving up with customization, leveling up. That's what Monster Hunter World is really about. Those cool monsters and just getting to defeat things and do raids with your friends. So.
Yeah, no, exactly. Now, for best fighting game, this kind of goes without saying, Dragon Ball FighterZ is the winner. And coming out of the gate when I heard it was being announced, I knew this game was going to be huge. Just going by the title, it's a 2D fighter. If you're a fan of Dragon Ball or anime period, you would not have missed it.
Dragon Ball FighterZ is very stylish. It's a super stylish game. The gameplay is fun, it's light, it's easy to pick up. It's not too difficult if you're already familiar with fighting games. And the environments are really gorgeous. The graphics are really nice. And I'd say it's an upgrade from previous fighter games in the Dragon Ball Z series.
Yeah, it's interesting too though because we had a lot of fighting games come out in 2018. Whether it was Soul Calibur, My Hero Academia, One's Justice. There was a lot of competition, for it to have. So for especially an anime game to win, that's insane. So I gave it all the credit in the world, and Myleah knows that I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan, and she also is a huge Dragon Ball fan as well. So,
both of us love Dragon Ball FighterZ, so we're a little biased.
a little bit, but it deserved a win, so we're happy about that. So moving on to our last game. This award is for Best Sports and Racing Game. So the winner of this award is Forza Horizon 4. Now, I was actually first surprised at this award because I was thinking, hey, wouldn't they separate the bracket for best sports game and then best racing game?
We're just not coming out with as many sports and racing games anymore. And Forza Horizon 4 was a gorgeous game. Looking at it, the tracks and the cars look really cool. It seems like it's got some cool mechanics, but we just don't see as many racing games. But Forza Horizon 4 definitely did a great job in the category, and it's definitely a game worth playing, worth looking out for. And I definitely want to give it a try. I haven't played many racing games beyond Mario Kart, so.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, one of the things I've seen about Forza, not only do you have like the destructible environments, but the weather changes. Whether you're driving at night, daytime, you have storms happening, that kind of thing. They try to keep the experience fresh.
Yeah, and it seems like you can choose your own path to really get to the finish line in Forza, so.
Yeah, no, exactly. And, obviously when it comes to sports games, you get a lot of that, it's like the same thing from last year. But Forza managed to stand out. And for a racing game, especially to come out on top, and the devs really put a lot of effort into this one, then, just the average, copy and paste, for next year, I think that really, really helped it stand out. And obviously, I play racing games time to time, also a big Need for Speed fan. I enjoy playing these kind of games, so where I can play with a Lamborghini or a McLaren because I can't afford that.
So if you can't play and do it in real life, you can do it through a game.
Exactly.
That's what video games are all about, getting to jump into those fantasy worlds, even if it's just driving a car.
The Game Awards also tends to come with its fair share of surprises as well. This time around, it's Mortal Kombat 11.
The truth I was cast out for speaking.
The truth I embrace, Shinnok, is that mercy is wasted on those who defile Earthrealm. I will destroy our enemies before they destroy us, starting with you.
How, Raiden? Not even you can kill an Elder God.
There are fates worse than death. Serve as warning and an emblem of my wrath.
This was not your destination, Shinnok. Once again, the Thunder God has upset the balance of history. But know this. The arc of the universe bends to my will. It is only a matter of time.
Mercy is wasted on those who defile Earthrealm.
I'll pick your bones clean.
Savagery is no match for skill.
Yet again, Liu Kang, you've chosen the wrong destiny.
I will destroy our enemies before they destroy us.
Was an amazing year for the gaming industry and gaming fans alike. Is 2019 gonna top it? We'll just have to wait and see.
Thanks again for making your grand return to the show, Myleah.
No problem, you know I always love being on the show.
Yeah, glad to have you. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Take care, and I'll see you all on the next episode of Versus Gaming.
Bye. Bye.
We own the cops.
Or ain't that something?